Hi everyone, I'm Marina from Pineapple Yarn. Welcome to my channel. This is my monthly making podcast where I go over everything I have been working on this last month. Today is Wednesday, January 1st, 2025, so Happy New Year. Grab a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you'd like to sip on. I'm drinking some tea, and I think this is from Stash, and I think it's the Christmas Eve tea, which is so good. It is a blend of cinnamon and spearmint, I think mostly, which sounds kind of strange, but it's really, really good. So I'm still sipping on that. I have a few bags left and enjoying them during this holiday season. So what I have mostly been working on this month is my advent calendar, and this year I purchased the Dandelion and Dogwood advent calendar. So if you haven't opened it for 2024, I guess skip ahead. But I'm sure most of you have opened your advents and are continuing on with them, so this won't be a surprise. But this is what I have mostly been working on this past month here in December. This is, like I said, this is the Dandelion and Dogwood Advent. It was a Barbie themed Advent, and I think it's just so pretty. All the colors are just really, really beautiful. And I am not going to be able to show this entire lap blanket that I made. But basically what I wanted to do is knit with this advent as I opened it every day. So I was able to keep up with it, except for maybe the last 3 days. I had to do a little bit of catch up, but for the most part, I did really well. And I ordered this advent calendar on Amy's Sparkle DK base, and I'm not sure what it's called, but it is so pretty. I don't even know if you'll be able to see how sparkly it is, but it has like a silvery stellina through the yarn. And the pattern that I used for this, I kind of used it as a pattern. It was a pattern, which of course I can't remember the name, but it's from Purl Soho, and it's like a corner to corner baby blanket. Honestly, you know what it is exactly like is very, very similar to the, gosh, what are those called? The dishcloths, the corner to corner dishcloths. I think it was Grandma's favorite dishcloth, something like that. So it's very similar. So basically what I did is I started with a few stitches on this end, and then it is on the right side you knit two, you increase, you knit across, you do another increase, knit two, flip your work. Then on the other side you purl two, increase, knit across again, and then do another increase. When you reach the last two stitches, you do an increase and then purl two. So I'll link the pattern below. It's very simple. I modified it because I just wanted to do a square. This blanket is a rectangular shape. So what I did is I knit all the way through day 12, and then I did decreases from day 13 on. So once I hit day 12, which was here, I just started decreasing. And I really like the colors in this advent, basically how they started off with a lot of greens and blues and went into purples, and then finished with the pinks and the peaches. And then at the very end, the last few days were kind of a really fun surprise with the darker colors, the darker blue, and then the purple at the end. So this was just a really fun project, and I don't have the exact measurements of it, but you can see, I can get this in the whole frame. You can see how big this is. So it's mostly stockinette, or not stockinette, garter stitch. It's very squishy, and it made a really nice edge with the knitting and then the purling on the wrong side. So I think I used a US 7 on this. I usually use a US 6, which is a 4mm for a DK weight yarn. But since this was garter stitch, I didn't want it to be too tight. I wanted it to be really squishy. So I used a US 7, and I used my Addi interchangeable needles, which were great. I use Addis on all of my knitting, and they worked really nicely. And then the other thing that I did on this is I joined all the yarn using the magic knot method. And so let me see if I can find an end. Here's an end right here. Let's see if I can get that. So right here, you can tell where there's an end, and I've made a knot. And you know why I did that? I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting. I did put a little spot of glue on all the knots, and you know, I really just wanted to see how durable this will be, because since it is a garter stitch blanket, it's not, I don't know, it'll just be easier if something comes unraveled to fix it. That's kind of how I feel. I just want to see how sturdy the magic knots end up being. So anyway, this is what I have mostly been spending my time on every day. And it was really fun. It was a really nice way to spend December. Really pretty bright colors, and yeah, it was fun. It was really fun to open up. Every morning I'd open it up with my kids. They would guess what color was in there. So it was nice. So that knit into a little lap size blanket, and since I do have little kids, younger children, someone always has been using the blanket because it's the right size for them. So that ended up working out really nicely. So the next thing I've been working on is my Forager sweater. And I think I showed you maybe some of this last month. I finished a Forager sweater maybe last month or the month before, and I cast on a new one because I love this color of yarn and this base. It's just so great. So like I said, this is the Forager sweater by Isabell Kraemer, and this will be I think the third one I've knit. And on this iteration, I am knitting just plain. So no cables, no braid at the hem, nothing fancy. I really wanted this yarn to shine through the, you know, I wanted it to shine through the sweater, through the pattern. And so I decided to skip all the fancy extras on the sweater and just knit a really simple sweater. This is one of my yarns, pineapple yarn in the color Nectar Glow, which is a new colorway, and it's a beautiful tonal. It's close to my coral conch color, but it is a little more pink, and so it's just, oh, it's so pretty. I love it. So I knit this sweater because I know come March, the cold days of March, cold days in April, I am 100% going to want to wear bright colors. And I'm going to be so tired of the cold, and I just thought this would be really fun, like a fun treat when it's cold, just to have something bright to wear and to keep warm in. So here's where I'm at right now. I am actually knitting the hem. So I've got these cute little sweater needle stoppers. These are so cute. I have these in the shop right now in a couple of different colors. They're just so fun. And this is just a really simple knit one, purl one, rib on the hem. And as far as like modifications and stuff and whatnot, like honestly, I knit this almost exactly to the pattern. And I have not picked this up in several weeks though, I'm going to be honest. I've been doing this mostly, doing my Advent knitting And so I don't even remember specifically if I have made modifications besides just leaving out the cables. I don't think I have. I think basically I'm following the pattern. I think it is a fabulous pattern. If you've watched a couple, maybe my last podcast or maybe 2 podcasts, I think it's just the last one. I can't tell you how much I love this sweater. The fit is great. She does this awesome shoulder shaping, as you can see right here. And then all of this is kind of like a faux seam where she makes it look like the sleeve is seamed on. It's just a really pretty detail. I really like that. And as you can tell, look at all this neon tweed. How awesome is that? So that's another reason why I didn't want to do any extras like the cables, because I love this yarn base. This is my new neon confetti tweed. It's a DK weight. So cute. So I'm going to start focusing a lot on this because I want to get it off the needles. I don't want it to sit. And yeah, so now that my Advent project's done, I can really start on this and focus on this, because I know once I start on the sleeves, it's really going to go quickly. I really liked the way I did the sleeves on the last one. So the last Forager sweater I knit, which was just a month and a half ago, that I knit it and I finished it. I think it was 2 months ago actually that I finished it. But I love that sweater where I knit no decreases on the sleeves. I don't think I even had one decrease on the sleeve, and then at the end, I did a rapid decrease on the cuff, and the fit is fabulous. I love that sweater so much, and I wear it all the time. So hopefully this one will be similar, the same fit, hopefully, because I really like the way that other sweater fits. I wear it all the time. So that is that Forager sweater. I did knit a couple of pairs of socks over Christmas or over, I guess, December, and I don't have them. I've gifted them, so I can't share those with you, but I'm working on 2 other pairs right now. This one is just, oh, this colorway is so, so pretty. This is a December 2023 colorway from Tia's Terrific Threads, and I'm knitting it on a US 2.25 millimeter needle. It's a circular needle from Addie. And what a cute little progress keeper. That's from Simply Serving, and I think I purchased that last year. This toe, the yarn is one of my yarns. It's pineapple yarn in the colorway Princess. So it's very, very pretty. And so these are toe up socks. I started by casting on, knitting to 60 stitches around, which is what I normally knit all of my socks on. And then one little technique that I really like to do when I'm hand knitting socks versus cranking them on my sock machine is I love doing like a slip stitch. So as you can tell, just every time I would start a new color, I would slip every 5th stitch. And then the back of the sock, I would leave just in stockinette stitch, because this is going to be the sole of the foot. And then once I knew that I was going to start the heel, basically what I do is I just try on my sock. If I'm doing a toe up sock, I try it on, and then wherever the crease is in my ankle, like the front, that's where I know that once I reach that, I know that that's where the heel needs to go. So I'm going to insert the heel in between this really pretty like tan color and white color. So that's where my heel is going to go, and I'll do an afterthought heel after I'm done with these socks. So then what I do is I just begin this little slip stitch pattern on the back of the sock as well. So I am nearly done with this sock. I couldn't decide whether to do a rib with the stripes or to use Princess as well. And then I just decided I would do a cuff, and so the cuff will be with these 3 colors. So basically I'm on this color right now, and then when I bind off, I will use this tan color. So it'll be, I don't know how many rounds I will get from those 3 colors, but the cuff will be fine. It probably won't be 15 stitches or 15 rounds, which is what I normally do, but it'll still be great. And I just love these colors so much. So I've been working on this sock in the morning and doing like maybe 2 stripes a day. I love these socks. These are really, really pretty. And I love how she winds up her yarn. It's one of those things where I buy socks from her, or not socks, I buy yarn from her monthly, and it's always just so easy to cast on because they always come in a little gobstopper, and it's just so fun to cast on. So those are the socks that I'm working on in the mornings. And then in the evening, I am working on another pair of socks. If I can get them out. I have so much in this basket right now. It's a little excessive. I have, well, maybe I'll show you in a minute. It's starting to become a catch-all of all the projects. And, you know, even this, I sell these in the shop. These are the small project baskets with the handles. And even though it's the small size, it fits so much. Anyway, so the socks I'm working on in the evenings are these beautiful socks. And I cannot tell you how much I'm enjoying working on them. So much to say about these socks. First of all, it's totally different than socks that how I normally knit my socks. These are a cuff down, heel flap and gusset sock pattern. And I think this texture, which I just kind of started doing this on a pair of socks last year. I had the 4 Sundays of Advent sock sets from a homespun house, and I love them so much. And I knit 1 pair of socks with this pattern, and it's just a it's kind of like a broken rib pattern. It's a, you know, for the first 2 rounds you knit around, the second 2 rounds you do a knit 2, purl 2. I think that is the Blueberry Waffles pattern, I think. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to do with these socks. So I did a knit 1, purl 1 rib, cuff, the Blueberry Waffle texture, which is, like I said, just the broken rib texture. And then I just did a basic heel flap and gusset, and I couldn't remember exactly how to do this, so I took the instructions out of Summer Lee's book, The Sock Project, which is a great book. If you guys haven't read that before, it's such an enjoyable book. I really, really enjoy it. And I just heard, I don't know if you have seen, she just put out a video maybe last month or within the month of December, and she's writing another book. So I'm really excited about that. I think it'll be really great to read. So I discontinued, when I got into the foot, I just discontinued that, that textured pattern on the sole, but I'm continuing it with the top of the sock. And then as you can tell, I've already decreased with the toe. All it needs is a Kitchener stitch for the toe. So it just needs to be grafted up and it will be done. So here's the thing about this sock is that I don't know what happened, but I cast on 64 stitches, and as much as this probably would fit me, especially because of the yarn, which I will talk about in just a minute, the yarn's a little thicker, and because of the textured pattern, so these probably would fit me, but I decided to knit them for my daughter who has a larger foot than me. She's a little bigger than me, which is not saying much. So I knit these for her. I think these are, oh, she's so lucky because these are just so pretty. I love them so much. So I can always knit another pair. It's not a big deal, but almost done with the first sock. And so let me tell you about this yarn. This is a new base to my shop, and I am so excited about it. I'll give you a close-up of the cake. You can probably tell this is a 2-ply yarn. It is an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, but it's not the 80-20 that I have carried in my shop in the past. I have been really searching for a squishy, like a very squishy, plump base. And I found this, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with it. I love it so much. It's so squishy. It's so plump. And the greatest thing about this base is that it is put up in 115 gram skeins. And so I think that it ends up being about 430 yards per 115 grams. So normally my base, which is a very similar base to this one, my Lonnie sock base is about 460 yards per 100 grams. So if this one is about 430 yards per 115 grams, this is a super, super squishy, super cushy base. And I will be stocking it in the shop this Friday with my shop update. But yeah, I wanted to kind of give it a try. I wanted to see, because it is a little bit on the heavier fingering weight side, I wanted to see how much. Like, are we going into sport weight territory, or are we still in fingering weight territory? And I do have to say, with just knitting the way I normally do, knitting with, well, this is 64 stitches, I really didn't see, besides the squishiness of it, this is a very squishy yarn, I didn't see a huge difference with the size. So I do think it will work great in a fingering weight pattern. But y'all, this is just, it's like my dream yarn that I have really been looking for. I actually had been looking for a base like this over 2 years ago when I closed my shop and took a break for 2 years. So I feel so fortunate I was able to find this. And I think I'm going to call this my Nala base, which is a Hawaiian word meaning, it means like puffy, it means like a wave shape, a very round shape. And so if you are interested in just this really squishy, cushy fingering weight base, look for my Nala base beginning this Friday in the shop, because I will have some dyed up. I won't have any dyed up in this colorway. This is part of a kit called the Crafting Calm Kit, and I did post a video if you are interested in watching how I sew project bags for the kit and just assemble the kit. But this is just kind of a one-off that I wanted to dye up to test out this base. So this has just been a really fun project. I've loved knitting it every night, and obviously I haven't been knitting anything else. Like, this is all I've been knitting on at night, because after I finished this blanket, this is all I've wanted to knit on. So yeah, so I'll just need to start on the next sock there, and really enjoying that. And I forgot to mention my progress keeper here, this little star. I think I had that in a kit at one point several years ago. It's just a cute enamel sparkly star. It's a good progress keeper, one of my favorites. So really, that is all I have been working on the month of December. It hasn't been a whole lot. But in this basket, I have a couple of upcoming projects I'm going to be working on. I have a couple of sock blanks that I knit up, and so I'll show those to you. I've had this yarn for so long. This is from Kirby Warby Yarns, who is an amazing dyer. She is just so creative and she's just so good at her craft and just a really wonderful person. She's my neighbor in South Carolina. So shout out to her. I'll link her shop below. And this is a yarn I've had for a couple of years. This is Cooler Than a Pack of Peppermints. I think she may have this in the shop right now, but how fun are these stripes? Aren't those just beautiful and vibrant? I really love this. So I am going to be knitting up a couple pairs of socks with this sock blank. I knit this blank on my Erlbacher Gearhart Speedster, which is my sock machine, and I used my 60 stitch cam. So this is 60 stitches around, just like how I hand knit my socks. I've found that that's a really good size for me, my children, most people I gift to. So yeah, I love that. I think that's so pretty. And then I want to show you this too. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the turquoise actually has very subtle aqua mint green stripes. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's just outstanding. Absolutely beautiful. And then I had the second sock blank, and this is another advent. I really hope that I'm not spoiling any surprises, but this is the 2024 Freckled Whimsy advent, so skip ahead if you haven't opened it, which I'm sure you have. But I have this already started on a sock, so I'll grab this little basket. I have so many socks everywhere. But this little basket, which is one of my shallow project baskets, I have those in the shop, and I just love holding a pair of socks in those. They're small, they're nice to contain a little project. And so I've started this. The Freckled Whimsy came in I guess a split skein. So I knit up both of these skeins. And I know you're probably supposed to knit a stripe a day, but I didn't. I cranked it on my machine. And then I'm knitting a knit 2 purl 2 cuff on the top, and I'm using pineapple yarn in the colorway Oyster. So just a neutral gray to top that off. And I haven't decided yet. This is what I normally do with my 24 stripe advents. Usually what I do is I split them, and so like this one, I would split it, and I would end up getting 2 pairs of socks for the whole skein. So I think I will probably do that, because this would be very, very long for one sock. That would be very long. Isn't that beautiful though? I just loved all the colors this year. So yeah, I'm going to use that really pretty, it's just a neutral gray color, probably on the heels, toes, and cuffs. And I have it up here in my little office studio. And anytime I have a spare minute, I just grab this and I knit a couple of rows. And so that will kind of be an ongoing project. I don't really have a deadline on that, or I don't have a recipient in mind. I just wanted to knit it up and get going on it. So those are my upcoming projects. These are the socks that I will tackle at some point. And until then, they're sitting in my basket, which I have lots of other things in here. I have my notions pouch, which is completely full. A sweet little Christmas pouch. This is from Jenny's shop. I will post her shop down below. She makes beautiful project bags. And I have a really pretty Christmas project bag, and I use this Notions pouch year round. So she has really beautiful things. I will post her shop. And then I have a full size bottle of craft glue. This doesn't need to be in this basket, but I use this liquid stitch. That's what I used for the knots for this blanket. So this probably should be cleaned out, but it's okay. I'll just keep piling things in there until it's too full, and then I'll clean it out. So that is all I have been working on this month. I hope you have been able to get a lot of crafting done during December. I know that it is, for many of us, it is such a busy month. I know for me it was extremely busy, and it was really nice to have an Advent project like this that I could work on every day. And it was really nice to have my socks that I could work on every day, but really I just could not even work on anything else. I mean, even my sweater, which I'm so excited about, there is no way I would have the bandwidth to work on a sweater. So I'm really happy moving into January. It's just nice to get back in the swing of things, get back into a schedule, and yeah, get back to work in the shop with all the yarn and kits. And I've steadily worked through December getting ready for a shop update. So I will be having a shop date this Friday, January 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern at pineappleyarn.com. I will have yarn, like I said, I will have that new base of yarn. I will have new colorways, a few tonal updates or restocks, and I will have a gradient set, which is beautiful. And then I will also have a kit, and I haven't had a kit in, well, it's several years now, right? So I will have a beautiful new knitting kit. I'm so happy with it. And it's the same yarn as this sock that I am knitting up just on my Lonnie sock base. And if you're interested in behind the scenes on that, like I mentioned, I have a little video on YouTube going behind the scenes when I was sewing up those project bags. But it's just a little, I'm really excited about that kit. I really wanted to do kind of like a treat yourself kit, like a self-care kit, something for those of us who maybe had a very hectic December and want to move into January kind of, I don't want to sound selfish and say focusing on yourself, but so many of us give and give and give through December, and then when January comes, you're a little tired, a little spent. So I just want to make something like just for you, to treat yourself, to take care of yourself, something peaceful, something relaxing, and I love this kit. So I hope you do too, and hopefully I can get on and record a video of just documenting everything that I have to put in the shop, because I do have quite a bit and they're all so beautiful. So I hope that you'll join me at pineappleyarn.com on Friday evening. And other than that, that's it from me this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this episode, I'd love if you'd give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I hope you enjoy your crafting, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.